Hi, everyone. It's Alissa Magrum from Colin's Hope and Executive Director, and Peri Kowal, our Kids Triathlon Race Director. We are coming at you with some important news. We're in the Colin's Hope studios here, and I know many of you have been waiting for us to release information about this year's Kids Triathlon, which was set to be held on August 29th and 30th on that weekend. And we're here to give you an update and just let you know that with much time and attention and care, we have decided to go to a virtual race format this year. We really wanted to do everything that we could to try to put on a race that was going to be safe for our athletes and our families and for everyone in our community, while at the same time raising awareness and funds for this work that we do, which is drowning prevention and water safety. And after doing a lot of hard thinking about it, and I'm going to let Peri, our race director, talk a little bit about that, we have decided that we are going to go virtual this year. So we are coming at you to let you know that, to talk about a few other things, and then ask you if you will stay with us this year during this time. We know that this is a difficult time for families. It's a difficult time for businesses. It's a difficult time for nonprofits, and for just everyone, honestly, navigating this world. And at Colin's Hope, we have been literally working round the clock since the middle of March to try to fend off drownings and prevent drownings from occurring, because what we've seen in this world is that as people shelter in place and as people are at home, the increased risk of drowning goes up because the increased access to water is there. So from Colin's Hope, we are working year round, regardless of what's happening in this to prevent drownings. And this is our chance to make sure that our kids triathlon still happens for our families and our athletes who we love. And this is one of the days of the year that is a favorite day, a best day ever for all of us, including Colin's family. And we know it is for so many of you who have been with us. This is our 12th annual Kids Triathlon. So this is 12 years that we've been putting this race on for our athletes and our race team. So I'm gonna ask you, before we get into all of this, to really consider, we know virtual is not like the same thing as all being on the same place and everybody hearing all the cheering live and all of the energy that comes from this event. But we're going to ask you to please stay with us this year. We're staying with you. We're going to do everything that we can to put on the best virtual race possible. But we're going to ask you if you'll stay with us too. Honestly, the awareness and the funds that come from the Kids Triathlon and the education of families who participate, key to our mission and key to our work around drowning prevention. So all that being said, I'm going to kick it over to Peri to talk a little bit about why we made this decision and anything else that you want to share before we get into the details of how it's going to work.
Sure. Yeah, I just would reiterate what Alissa said, that this was not an easy decision, and we have looked at all possibilities for pulling it off, splitting it over days, splitting the groups up so that, you know, there was more distance, physically more distance between people. But, you know, as we looked at all the different formats, we're faced with things that maybe wouldn't come top of mind to you, like packet pickup and how we do that safely. And then how do we set up transition so that we don't have, 400 plus kids in a transition area that really fits 400 kids. We needed that spaced out. Aid stations, grabbing water from volunteers. There are a variety of things that when we really thought about it, having three to 450 kids, plus all of their adoring fans, upwards of, 600 or 800 people. Yep. We just knew in our hearts that was going to be not probably the right thing to do. And you guys would probably all be in with us and want to be there. And we didn't want to be put everyone in a situation that wasn't, tenable. So we're excited about the virtual option. We do realize this is our favorite day too. I mean, I love this race. I look forward to it all year. So it's sad to me not to see everyone and be out there, and gosh, seeing the little ones run across the finish line is just the best thing ever. The elites all the way down. It's so awesome. So we look forward to next year. We're hopeful, and this year we're just going to pull it off the way we can and move forward from there. I wanted to tell y'all that we've, of course, been in contact with all of our vendors and timers and all of that. It's disappointing to them as well. I was on the phone with one yesterday. It's quite a disappointment from a business standpoint, but as he said, also, he loves this race, and it's a highlight of his year too. So we will, you know, stay in contact with them and do it next year. Our course directors are disappointed. As y'all may imagine, we have a run course, a bike course director, a transition manager, someone at the swim, Pat Henneberry running the swim, and those folks would like to send you messages, and we're going to work to get them on a short little video message to y'all, along with some other people too I'll talk about at the end. But just know that we really did everything we could to pull this off, and we really need y'all's support this year, and Alissa will be talking to you more about that. But know that from a race direction standpoint, this I really, in my heart, believe this is the best move. So Alissa, I'll turn it back.
Yeah, well, thank you, Peri. And I mean, I find myself getting really emotional. The Kids Triathlon was my absolute first thing that I really did as a volunteer for Colin's Hope at the very first one 12 years ago. So this is definitely a difficult decision. But I do feel hopeful, as Peri said, that next year we can be back and we can all be in the same space, and it can be better than ever. And so this year, this is a weird year. So I'm going to talk right now about how we're going to do this. And again, we have made this pivot very quickly, so bear with us. And we're going to try to put a frequently asked questions video together to answer your questions. But right now, registration is open. We are just going to have the age group categories, and you will go in and you will register for your age group. We will allow you to do this race, to do your race, and we'll put the distances for each age group up there, but you'll be able to do your race anytime in between August 1st, and we will do a virtual awards ceremony celebration on the 30th in the evening, probably around 5 o'clock on a Zoom format. So actually probably streaming on our Facebook Live, and you'll see details for that. But that will be our celebration. So you'll be able to participate and do your race wherever it is that you may be, with the distances that are provided in your age group anytime during that month. So that's the goal. And what are you going to get? So again, Peri mentioned packet pickup, and we can't do a packet pickup, but we will be mailing race packets to you. So our goal is that we're going to encourage you to register as soon as possible. We're in the process of ordering all the things that you're going to get, which I'm going to talk about. And our goal is that we will have our team and volunteers getting those out to you so that you have them in hand by August 1st so you can do your triathlon. So what are you going to get? Because, you know, that's part of it. We like to know what we're going to get. We are going to do, the first thing I'll talk about is we are going to have a downloadable race bib, and it's going to look something like this, and you'll get it, and you'll get a link to it, and you can download it, and it will say best day ever, and it'll have the kids try, and you can print that out and figure out how you're going to use that. So you'll get that. You're going to get not one, but actually 2 swim caps. So you're going to get one of our athlete ambassadors. It's going to look something like this. We haven't picked the colors yet, but it's going to be a best day ever athlete ambassador swim cap. So you're going to get that. Then you're also going to get one of our vintage swim caps from a past Kids Triathlon race, probably from our 10-year anniversary race. We want to share those resources that we have with you, and so you'll have 2 caps, not one, but 2 caps that'll be coming to you, and it'll be a treat to see what color you get. You are going to get, so this year, instead of doing t-shirts, because we wanted to go with the times, we are going to do a best day ever buff. So this is not what it'll look like, but I'm going to see if I can do, this is one that I have. You know, we're all supposed to be wearing face masks, right? So we thought, what can we give our athletes that they can then use and they can then be proud of their accomplishment and they can wear? So we're going to do a best day ever buff. That's going to be, this is just one that I have from a different thing, but it'll say best day ever, and it'll be something that you can use. And so look forward to that, because that's applicable to the times. And we're thinking, you know, usually we have our tie-dye t-shirt that we do for the kids triathlon. So we're working on the tie-dye buff. So look forward to that, because when schools get back in session, if they do, that can be something that all of our athletes can proudly use and wear. Many of you choose to race in honor or celebration of someone who's been lost to a drowning or someone who survived a drowning. So on our race bibs, it will say, I race in honor of, racing in honor of, but we also have these wristbands, which I have 2 of them on, but they say, I race for. And in the registration process, you can choose if you want to race for in honor of someone, or we may just send you one so that everyone can make that choice. But we will then give you an electronic way to go online and read stories of children and people that you can race in honor of, and choose one, because I know that's one of my favorite things every year at Packet Pickup. I sit outside and I talk to families and I talk to kids about the families that we work with that have been impacted by drowning, the families that love when their children are celebrated and honored by our athletes who race in honor of them. And that's a really important piece to this particular event that makes this more than just a race, is that you're doing it as an athlete ambassador for drowning prevention, and you're doing it in celebration in honor of a child or a family member who's been lost or almost lost to drowning. And if you know someone, you can choose them. Just like every year, you can choose whoever you want. But that's a piece. So you'll get one of the wristbands. Let's see. Oh, something that's really cool, which Peri had this suggestion, and I absolutely love it, is we're going to give you a piece of finish line tape, and it's probably going to say best day ever on it. We're working on the development of that, but that's going to be a piece of tape that's probably, I don't know, maybe it's 6 feet long. So it's social distancing tape too. But you're going to, when you do your race, you're going to get 2 supporters of yours to hold up that finish line for you, so you can come crashing through it and crash to the finish line. And we'd love to see those finish line videos or photos of you holding up the finish line tape. So we're going to do our best to get you a whole great packet of things. You know, typically we do medals. Sorry, we do medals, finisher medals. These are a few of the medals from past years. This year, you're going to get a surprise. It's going to be a finisher surprise. We're not going to tell you what it is. It's going to come in your race packet. It's going to come in an envelope that says, open this when you cross the finish line. So maybe whoever's holding your finish line tape can have that for you and give it to you when you cross the finish line. But it's going to be a really special thing that is something that you can keep with you, and that's going to show that you achieved your kids triathlon, the Colin Kids Triathlon, and that'll be a surprise, and that'll come in your race packet. If you choose to raise pledges, that's something that not everyone chooses to do that as part of the triathlon. Some people choose to just race, just like a normal race. Some people make a donation when they register. There's a box you can check that says make an additional donation, which is awesome. Every one of those dollars in those donations helps Colin's Hope do this work 365 days a year to prevent drowning. That's what we use those dollars for. But there's also our athletes who choose to be pledge raisers. And each year we have a pledge raiser prize for those individuals. And there will be a pledge raiser prize. You'll be given the option to choose that at registration. Do you want to be a pledge raiser? And if you check that, then we will include a pledge raiser surprise in your race packet as well. And when we do the awards ceremony celebration, we're going to awards. Those will be, we'll talk about those later, that we'll award on the live thing on the 30th of August, but we will also do pledge raiser prizes during that time. So those of our athletes who are talking about why they're doing the Colin's Hope Kids Triathlon and talking about drowning prevention and educating their family and friends and also raising dollars, we'll have pledge raiser prizes at that time. So when you register, you can choose to be a pledge raiser, and we'll make sure that you're in that. So I think that's all the stuff that I can think of right now. I'm sure there'll be more as we roll this out. This is our first time doing this, so we ask for your patience. But again, truly, actually, Peri, let me kick it back over to you to talk about some of the other things that we're going to be trying to support athletes with during the time between now and August.
Yeah, so the package y'all are going to get is so fun and awesome. I think this will be, you know, just a new kind of treat for doing the triathlon. But as much as we can keep the same, we want to keep the same, sort of like with the packet. And so, you know, we're going to roll out some, you know, training type videos that Casey Copley and the Dasso sisters have done for us. They've offered to do some more, and those are awesome. You know, teaching you how to do a transition, which you're still, you know, you still will need to know how to do. And then, like I said earlier, and then the course managers will also be giving you some videos. So I'm sure they'll talk about, you know, the way the swim works and how to stay safe in the pool and that sort of thing. You know, how to rack your bike and get it off and get going and put your helmet on before you start riding and that sort of thing. So those folks are awesome. And we're going to hopefully get a couple more, some of our elite and veteran Colin's Hope Kids triathletes will be helping us with these videos and things. So just another way to keep you engaged and stay motivated and train as much as you want or little as you want and finish the tri.
And Peri, do you want to talk a little bit about the timing aspect of this virtual race?
Yeah, we're not going to capture times this year. If you want to keep them, keep your times. A lot of you, if kids that are watching, you may have a watch that does that, or you may like to, some of the older kids may like to track that kind of thing. Your parents might like to track it, but that's really for you. And this year we're less about time, even for the older kids. We're just about finishing in the spirit of the triathlon, you know, finishing the tri, finishing the 3 parts of it. And the timing is not something we're going to capture, but you're welcome, of course, to capture that yourselves.
Absolutely. And that's something that we did talk about. We did talk about it a lot and try to figure out the best thing. And honestly, it's just such a difficult thing with people doing this wherever they are and not on the same course. It's just too complicated. And we really wanted to be about this year. This is the spirit of Colin's Hope right here. Colin used to say today was the best day ever. And, you know, we're going to make this virtual race the best day ever. And it's going to be awesome. Peri and I both have our best day ever caps on. And that's what we're trying to put out there into the world. We want you to get to be part of it. We want our Kids Tri family to be active. And so again, have patience as we roll this out. We'd love your suggestions and your feedback. And if you're training or you're whatever it is that you're doing, if you want to interact with us on social media, send us an email, send us your pictures. This is going to, if we can keep this energy going, I know I'm a triathlete too, and I know Peri's a triathlete also, and we're trying to figure this out for ourselves. So let's motivate each other. Let's remember why, really the reason behind Colin's Hope, which is to prevent drowning, and talk to people about how they can be safer around water. So please be with us in the spirit of that. Support us as we support you. I know that this is such an incredible, and we've said it, but I'm going to say it again. This is an incredible event for Colin's Hope. It raises awareness. It educates people about water safety. It does raise revenue to help us do the work that we do all year round. So again, please support us. Please ask us if you have questions. We will get you the answer. We are putting all of this together and making our pivot right alongside you. So have patience with us, and I'm going to be transparent about that because we're doing everything we can, but we're a small and mighty team, and a lot of our team are volunteers or we're working on lots of different things. So again, we hope that you will join us this year for the Colin's Hope. It is 12th annual Colin's Hope Kids Triathlon, and many of you have been with us since the very beginning. Some of our sponsors have been with us since the very beginning. Some of our families have been with us from the very beginning. And I know I've watched some of these kids grow up in the triathlon, and I see them every single year. And we're watching kids aging out of the Kids Triathlon but they've been with us since the beginning. And then we're seeing families who are new families each year. And let's work together to keep this thing going this year. With that, I think we'll sign off. Please go register, and the sooner that you register, the sooner we can get all the packets together. Please encourage your friends to register too, and let's just make this an amazing year. Let's make it the most amazing that we can, and let's look to the vision that we will all be together again at an actual site next year for the 13th annual Kids Triathlon. So signing off, Peri, let's give them a best day ever, and we'll see you at the virtual try. So 1, 2, 3.
Best
Best day ever.